Big 12 heading into this week, and we're seeing right now Kansas on top of Texas by a touchdown midway through the third quarter. I know this will make you irate, but there was a goal line stand by Kansas against Texas. There's the ball, first and goal inside the 5, and didn't get in. But your thoughts on the Big 12 headed into this week, and another really interesting game for Kansas State this week with Tech coming in.
Oh yeah, totally at the start of the season, what we thought would be the game of the week in the Big 12, right? Kansas State versus Texas Tech. I mean, that's just, again, it just shows how wild this league is. I think, Kansas State has firmly established themselves as the top of the conference right now. Obviously, OU has played much better since that Kansas State loss, with just, how they've played against Texas and Texas Tech and et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, that's going to be an interesting game in Manhattan. I think Kansas State will win that game at home. But, after Kansas State and OU maybe, it's crazy to think that Oklahoma State controls their own destiny to win the conference title just because of the schedule they have ahead of them. But, each game from here on out is going to be really tough. And, I mean, the way that West Virginia has kind of fallen off the face of the earth has been pretty surprising. I mean, I think we all knew that their defense was not good. But I think we probably expected more games like that Baylor game where they were just able to outscore people rather than their offense just really struggled the last 2 games. So it's pretty plain to see now that West Virginia can't win unless they, put up a lot of points. Just the last couple weeks haven't been able to do that.
Talk about Colin Klein and what he means to Kansas State. I mean, this is a team that obviously one of the front runners to win this conference, one of the premier teams in the nation right now. But let me tell you something, that boy just impresses me every single game. Your thoughts on him?
He's one of my favorite players in college football, and I came away from the game last year here when, that the great game against the Cowboys. I was like, man, look, that guy is just, he can run, he's so tough. You can say what you want about his throwing motion, but he's kind of like Tim Tebow in that it gets there, and he's a good college quarterback, and he's got to be the front runner for the Heisman Trophy right now, just with what he's done with this Kansas State team, and he's fun to watch. So I think he's definitely one of the top players in college football, maybe the top player in college football, and I think for sure the most valuable player in college football. And I even said that probably going back to the beginning of the season that no team needs a player quite like Kansas State needs Colin Klein. So I would be shocked if he wasn't in New York, unless he Kansas State goes on some crazy movie streak or something, and I would give him the award right now. But we said the same thing about Gino Smith a couple weeks ago, so obviously there's a lot of seasons still to go.
Yeah, I caught a lot of flack this year from the Animals as far as my Colin Klein for Offensive Player of the Year.
Hey.
A lot of flack for that.
Really?
Throw that out there. Give it up to myself a little bit. I feel like he's going to win that award.
Yeah, I know he was one of those guys where, on my preseason Big 12 ballot, I'm like, where do you put him? Because, I mean, it's tough with the quarterbacks.
Landry.
Right, and so David Ubbin from ESPN.com, he put him at running back as, an all-purpose type player, and I'm like, that's what I should have done, but I didn't know you could break the rules like that. So maybe he can and I can't, I don't know.
I gave Gino the quarterback, and I put him Offensive Player of the Year.
There you go.
Yeah. Gina, before we let you go here, let's get a score prediction from you for the game today. Also, a sense of how you think the game's going to play out.
I think the Cowboys to win 28-23. I like them at home. TCU obviously coming off a really emotional triple overtime thriller last week. Not saying there's going to be any hangover, but obviously that there's some emotion there. And I think my gut says that Westmont will play in this game. Obviously, we don't know for sure yet, but I think there will be just enough offense for this team, and I think the defense will probably make a big play too. I mentioned Lindell Johnson. I'm kind of on the Lindell Johnson bandwagon. In the paper today, I said he'll make a big play. So that's kind of where I'm going. But yeah, I like the Cowboys in the close one.
All right, Gina, great visiting with you as always. Enjoy the game. We are going to step aside here for just a couple of minutes. Katie Hamilton, Sam Mace, across the street from Eskimo Joe's. It is countdown to kickoff on WWLS, the Sports Animal. Just a little under an hour and a half away from OSU and TCU. More right after this.
It's countdown to kickoff and Bud Light Game Time, live from the Oklahoma Lottery.
About 6 minutes.
Brought to you by Bob.